Welcome to another episode of Greatness Quest. This is Trevor Crane, and today is a video episode. What we're going to be talking about today is how to write the right book fast, and I'm going to give you a simple breakdown of the steps to get this done really fast. I know you're going to love the show.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a daily dose of Greatness Quest with your host, Trevor Crane, my daddy. He is going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
You're supposed to make me sound cool.
Okay, so welcome back. I'm in my office right now, and I am going to unveil what's behind Muhammad Ali. So I've got a poster of Muhammad Ali in my office. And what I've got behind here are my secrets to getting a book written. One of the first things, I'll just go ahead and talk to you about what I just am pulling out here in sequence, because it's here, is this calendar. It's a blank calendar of like how you plan out getting your book done and then getting a launch done. So you want to be able to plan out like month after month after month. So I always want to walk you through like, when do you want to get your book done? But what we'll talk about right now is how to get this book done fast. Now, I don't know if you know this or not about me, but when I went to write my first book, I had failed miserably for 20 years to write my first book. And so once I finally broke down and hired a mentor, I just realized that I wasn't getting it done. I met my first book mentor, and he told me about how he got his first book done, but he had put it off until he got cancer. And he wasn't sure he was ever going to recover, and he was looking at his legacy, and he said, "This sucks. I want to get my book done." And that first book ended up becoming a #1 best-selling book. He wrote it while he was going through cancer treatments, and he just wanted to make sure he had something that he was going to give back to his family, to leave for his son and his wife. And then he also built a 7-figure business on the back end. So when I talked with him about it, I just felt really stupid that I hadn't got my first book done. So I finally just said, "Can you help me?" And I hired him, and I went through his program, and he assisted me. And now that's what I do to help other people. Because what happened is I went to him with my first book idea, and he asked me some core questions about whether or not this was the right first book for me, and it wasn't. And then I came up with a second one, and then a third one, and so forth. And it wasn't until I came up with my 4th book concept that I came up with the right book. And what happened is I wrote that book following the steps I'm about to share with you. I did it in 24 hours. In fact, I did it 24 hours back to back. Not the way I recommend doing it. That was really difficult, and that was a lot of stress. But what happened is I then 10x my income with that book in the next 12 months. And that book I'm holding in my hand is called High Paying Clients. And this book is phenomenal. I've got almost 100 reviews on Amazon about this book. Like I said, I 10x my income, not because I sold 1 million of these books, but because I had a whole bunch of people coming to me wanting to buy my products and services. So let me show you how this works so you can get the step-by-step. I've got a great book, and if you haven't gotten this yet, you totally should get it, How to Write the Right Book Fast. But I'm going to go over the steps on today's podcast so that you've got the short version, and we can go ahead and fly through this. So real quickly, I've got a phenomenal training about this, but let's go through it one step at a time. The first thing you want to do, is to make sure you don't just go out and start writing your book. Like, one of the ways to get your book written is not to go start writing right away, but is to get clear first. So the first step here is strategy. So get your strategic plan ready first. Like I told you, I didn't have the right strategic plan. I went to my mentor, and he asked me questions, and then I realized I had the wrong strategy. I was writing the wrong book. I wasn't doing it the right way. I was trying to take different things I'd written in the past, or different trainings I'd had, or different things and different stories that I'd accumulated, and push them all into a book. And it was just confusing. It was confusing for me, and it was potentially confusing for my readers, and I never got that book done. So get a strategic plan first about your money-making plan, your business plan. Like, what's the mission behind your book? Like, what we do with Epic Author Publishing is quite different. A lot of people think you need to write a book, do some great marketing, then you go off and Once that marketing happens, you might make some money. That would be really cool. And then wouldn't it be great if you met your mission? So we want to flip that upside down and get clear about your mission first, then your money-making strategy, then the strategy of how you're going to market this, and then write your book. This, doing it backwards, is going to go ahead and totally support you, so get real clear first. This might take an hour, this might take a month, this might take 3 months. It depends on the clarity, but once you understand your strategic plan, which is the first step that I actually go through when I'm working with my clients, they work with me personally, and I help you craft that plan. And think of it like a blueprint for a house. You want to have the blueprint before you just hire all the builders and they come and start building. They're not going to know what to build, so get a strategic plan. The second step, once you've got clarity about your mission and the money-making plan and how you're going to publish and how you're going to get it written, you then structure your book. Now, structure is really simple. Think of it like an outline. And you could go ahead, and this could take you a long time to get an outline done. Or you think of it like a treasure map. Like if you were to develop the table of contents for a phenomenal book, what would you do for like helping people get from where they are to where they want to go? What are the steps along the way? Think of it, you just drawing out a map. Like, okay, here's where you are. The first thing you need to do is this. The next thing you need to do is that. Because your book should make a promise, ideally. Your book, the right book, is making a promise to deliver a result. So you want to meet the reader where they're at. That's chapter 1, or the introduction. And then you want to walk them through the different steps they need to go through. This is the table of contents. This is your structure. Because after they do the first thing, then they need to do the second thing. Think of it, I remember there's a great example about like a dating niche. And, like there was this really famous marketing campaign that did really, really well, made millions and millions of dollars. And there were books written about it and whatnot on like how to teach men to date women, right? How to find the perfect mate. But before they could get married, they needed to teach them, like, how do you talk to a girl? Like, where do you need to go to the girl? And then when you first meet a girl out at a bar or wherever you're going to meet her, what do you say? And then what do you say to get her a drink? What do you say to get her phone number? What do you say to get her the first date? What do you say on that date? So they broke it down into steps, and then they walked people through it. That's your table of contents. That's your structure. And think of it again as that treasure map. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. Let's say you have 10 chapters in your book. You don't need more than 10 or 12 chapters in your book. You might want to write down 15 chapters to get people from where they are to where they want to go, and then throw out 3 of them, because you don't need that many. Maybe even throw out 5, because you want to find the fastest path to get people from where they are to where they want to go. Again, hopefully your book is solving a problem. Okay. Now, if you have your strategic plan, so you know how you're going to get this done, and you understand who, I'm going to give you one more thing. This is really key. There are 4 questions you need to ask and answer when you're planning your book. What is it? Who is it for? This is one of the most important ones. I could go on about this for a day. But who is your book for? Your ideal reader. What is it about? You need to be able to describe that quickly. And then the third question is, why do they care? Like if you're going to write this book for teenage girls, or if you write this book for 40-year-old men or 40-year-old businessmen, it just depends on who you're writing for, what it's about, so that it's in their language and they understand it, like a quick little 2-sentence thing about what it is, at most 1 to 2 sentences. And then 3, why do they care? Now, why do they care is really important. This is about problems and results. There's 2 reasons, 2 parts to why. What are the problems your book will solve, and what are the results your book will deliver? So one of the results that my book will deliver is how to position yourself as an authority, how to attract qualified clients, how to build your brand, how to increase your income, and do so effortlessly. Now, those are all results-focused, promise-focused things. But what's the opposite of those things? If you're not an authority, what are you? You're unknown and nobody knows you. If you're not attracting qualified leads, you're probably repelling them, or you're having to chase them. So the opposite is oftentimes the problem or the result, okay? So you need to go ahead and think of those things. So now we are strategy, structure, story is number 3. So story is number 3. Oftentimes, this is where people start. They want to write their book about how they got hit by lightning and survived, or how they filed a bankruptcy and survived, or how they created whatever. And so I highly advise that is not where you start. Most people start with story. Instead, if you've done the table of contents right, all you need to do is now fill in the blanks of like, what are the best stories to prove your point inside of each section? And now, since you've only got 10 to 12 chapters, you go ahead and you pick 2-3 stories per chapter that meets your promise. Each chapter should be moving people along the benchmarks of where they need to go. And so now, instead of throwing in every story and the kitchen sink and how you were raised and everything else, you're now picking only the best choice stories. Think about this as also being how you would pack for a trip. Like if you pack last minute, you probably throw too much shit into your luggage. And then you find yourself on vacation and you packed way too much, and people are like, well, why'd you bring so much stuff? Because you didn't have time to plan it out. And you didn't pay attention to only what you needed and bring only the right, like if you're going to go ahead and travel and you're not going to pack a bag that you have to check, you're going to just like a carry-on, you need to be efficient. You need to make sure you only put what you need in that bag. So plan ahead, and now you've got keys to the right stories instead of every story in the history of the world that has happened for you. Tell only the stories that are necessary. Now, that's basically most of it. Once you've got clarity around this, the most important next step is that you set a date. There is nothing like a deadline to help you get this done. If you're going to get a book written fast, you need to have a date and a deadline that you commit to the world for. What we do with Epic Author Publishing is we help you pre-launch with Amazon, with Amazon and Kindle. So we go ahead and help you pre-launch your book where Amazon, they set a deadline and a date, and you have to make this declaration, and now you have a deadline, and hopefully you've pre-launched and pre-sold your book to dozens or hundreds or thousands of people who now need your book, who you promised that your book is going to go to. And there is nothing like the pressure to make sure you get your book done. And I didn't tell you to start with that. I told you to get strategic about your plan, so you know how, you know what the content is because you went through the structure. You picked out the best stories that go in each chapter, 1, 2, 3 stories that you can go ahead and tell. I haven't even had you pick up your pen to start writing yet. The next thing you do is you set a date so you know it's going to happen. Now there's 3 steps left, and this is super, super cool because you don't have to be a great writer to write a great book. A lot of people think you need to. But instead, what you want to do is use speak, scribe, source. Now, you probably can speak. I'm guessing most of the people that are watching this right now have the gift of verbal language, and you can speak. So maybe you don't want to speak your story out, but just think about how cool this is. You can transcribe your words. Speak, scribe, source. See, if you get clear about your strategic plan, the structure, the stories that you're going to be telling, and then you set a date. Hold on, my daughter is bombing my video there. Thank you very much. I had to show you that what I have to deal with my 11-year-old daughter. Okay, she's gone. Sorry about that. So if you get the strategic plan first before you begin, then setting a date, now you just got to speak, scribe, source that sucker out. So you can get a team. You can use technology. I will oftentimes advise my clients to teach a webinar or a teleclass or to transcribe an event that they have, but to speak your story out and get it out. One of my friends wrote a great book. I could go over here and grab it, but it would be just a distraction for you. And I interviewed him for one of my books. Hold on, I'll just go ahead and demonstrate it. Give me a second. I wrote a book called Big Money with Your Book Without Selling a Single Copy. And so this is the poster I have up in my office for it. And for this book, I interviewed 5 different authors who are making big money with their books, and not by selling the book. They're making big money with their book because they understand how to position it in their business and what they're doing in their marketing. And a buddy of mine and a client named Pat Petrini wrote this book, The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers, and he got 80% of this book done once he got clear about the strategy, structure, story. He got it done in about a 2-hour walk around his community. See, he was struggling to write this book for a long time without this type of clarity, and then he went out and he wrote this book, 80% of it in 2 hours after he got clear about his strategy, his structure, and then the stories that were going to be inside of it, and he went out and he just spoke his story into his phone. That was speaking it out, then having it transcribed, and then getting some help. Sourcing is that you find someone to help you write it, edit it, model it, just finish the book. Again, if you're going to build a house, you're probably not going to do it on your own. You're going to have a plumber to do plumbing, an electrician to do electrical, and you're going to do, all of that. You're going to do, you're going to need a contract guy and a roofer and a painter and the AC guy and all that stuff, and probably a gal. There's going to be someone who come in and do faux painting, right? So there's the thing, is once you get clear, you can pound this book out really fast. So get clarity first, structure your book, pick the best stories, set a date, and then you speak, scribe, source, and you can pound your book out really fast. Now, overall, the number one piece of advice I have for you is to get help. If you are going to try to get this done, a self-published book, a book that you write, getting your blueprint from an architect. I'm your architect, and I have a new program that helps just about anybody at any price point help you get your book done. The first step is to get this book, How to Write the Right Book Fast. Now, I give you a link in the transcription of my notes on the show. So if you go to trevorcrane.com and you look at today's episode, you should be able to find that. But I'm going to give you the domain so you can just go and get that book right now. Go to epicauthor.com/free book. At epicauthor.com/free book, I will give you this book for free. And so now you will have the template of how to get this done. Now, this is the beginning. This is the framework. I highly advise, though, that you contact me, that you enroll in our Epic Author Academy program, that you sign up for our free training, that I go ahead and support you, and then you might choose to have me come on your team and to support you in getting this done, because I like to get a book done with a team. It's so much easier. So that's all I got for you today. My challenge for you is to download this book, and honey, please don't, come here, since you're already in here. This is my daughter. Here, go ahead and bounce so that they see I'm on a trampoline today. This is Phoenix. Say hi, Phoenix.
Hi, Phoenix.
That's so nice. Okay, this is my daughter who has done 10 books that all became #1 best-selling books. Thank you very much. You can give her some applause. Are you going to stay or are you going to leave?
Ben.
Okay, she's done. And so my challenge for you is to take action. Download this book. Go watch my free training that I have at this for this. Go to epicauthor.com. You can watch the free training. Get this book, but enroll in our program. I'm sure I've got some kind of call to action on the webinar and on the training and whatnot to go ahead and have you take action, or reach out to me on social media and say you want help with your book. And we'll start with the blueprint to help you get clear about your strategic plan. I don't care where you are in the process. If you think your book is written, or if you are right at the beginning and you're not sure what the right book is for you. Let's get you clear. It all begins with the blueprint. Okay, so that's all we got for you today. Come back to join us tomorrow for another daily dose of greatness quest. Trevor Crane signing off.
Get on.
That's so nice of you, honey. Da-da-da-da. Bye.
To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.